Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Healing Honey. If it's your first time here, then welcome. So you guys, this video is kind of impromptu, but it's been on my list of creations for like 2 or 3 years now, and I just haven't gotten to it. But recently I heard somebody say something about this, and I was like, shoot, I should share my experience, because if I went through it, it's probably relevant to somebody out there. And so whether you're on this video because you've had a similar experience, whether you're on this video because you're just curious or you just want the tea, like, cheers, right? Cheers to you. Thanks for being here. Make sure that you like the video if you enjoy it or if you gain anything from it. So I'm gonna keep it lighthearted, but it's actually it's not a joke at all. It's very much real, and my experience happened over 10 years ago, you guys, like 12, 13 years ago. I had this experience. I was in a Christian cult and I didn't even know it. Okay, it just hit 111 on the clock, and I have no shame talking about this because it's real and it exists out here. And to be honest with you, I kind of see every religion as a cult now. This video is not meant to spark any wars. People can get very touchy when it comes to religion. I don't want anybody fighting or any, like, my intention with this is to spread some awareness and to just give you some warning signs so that you can make good choices for yourself, okay? So why do I say that every religion is like a cult? Because if you're in any type of church or something like that, or group, let's just say group, okay, that has told you that your way is the only way on earth and everyone else is doomed, that's the first red flag. Okay, let's just get into the red flags. Like, so this means every church that I'm aware of, because everyone thinks their way is the right way. Okay, the Catholics, the Christian, every faction of, and every of them. I'm not going to get into specifics because I'm not trying to press any buttons, but I mean, I grew up in America. I was taught about Christianity for the most part, grew up Catholic and Christian, going to both churches with each side of the family, but never really felt a connection to God. And this is another sign, you guys, where cults can attack. If you're feeling vulnerable, if you're in a vulnerable space, maybe you're confused, maybe you're lost and searching, then you're like, pray to these people, and they want to attack and take you in, right? They're taking that thirst you have, that knowledge you're seeking, and they're like, I'm gonna fill it up with a bunch of BS. And so if you're in a group right now, a religious or spiritual group that says your way is the only way, everyone else is doomed to hell or to burn for all of eternity, red flag, it could be a cult. Number 2, if you're in a vulnerable space and all of a sudden a group of people come up to you and start telling you, this is the truth, this is the only truth, Jesus is the way, or you're doomed, like, caution, red flags. And so I remember just living my life, and my boyfriend at the time, definitely not together anymore, but we were like young, we were like 21 years old, and we just kind of had a curiosity for God, wanted to know more, and we had learned all about the Illuminati and this and that, which satanic cults do exist on earth, okay? This is facts. And so we had learned about it. We're like, whoa, the entertainment industry and all this stuff is like run by a lot of dark stuff. And so let's learn about the other side. Like, we're not with it. We want to do right. Like, we have a heart for God. So like, let's learn more. Well, one way or another, he got drawn into a Bible study that ended up convincing him he needed to be baptized to be saved and join this church, right? So he broke up with me because he's like, we're living a sinful life. Like, either you join this church or we can't be together because, you know, like, you're going to hell. I'm going to go to hell in a handbasket with you, like, if I stay with you, basically, in a nutshell. So I was like, okay, well, I'll do a Bible study. Like, I don't want to go to hell. And that's sign number 3. Sign number 3 is that they are going to prey on fear. Fear is a huge tactic with cults. It will convince you that fear is the biggest thing. Like, you're gonna go to hell. if you try to leave. You're going to go to hell if you don't do what they say. You're going to go to hell if you even think anything else. You're going to go to hell if you don't listen to the leaders. And it's just really dark and twisted, you guys, because once they kind of sink their claws into you, fear is the biggest tactic used. And it's very crazy because people might think like, whoa, you're in a cult? Like, you're so weak-minded. Like, what? Like, actually, I'm extremely... I see how people can... They play on your emotions and they use manipulation tactics. And from the very beginning, I just knew like that I didn't belong there. But really... I cared about the other people. I formed relationships with the people, and I was just like, I was seeing it as like, I'm connected to God. I'm learning about God, and I don't really care what these leaders or whatever they call themselves are talking about anyways. So that's why I'm like, I'm going for church. Like, they would say to do this, go to this car wash, do this and that, and report to this person, but they would mask it with like, oh, it's spiritual, for like a spiritual talk to see how each other is doing. But really they had you like they assigned people to be like over you. So if you see any type of hierarchy happening, any type of triangle scheme, like, and that's why I'm just so not with religion these days. You do not need to go through a priest that's going to this person's going to this, going to the bishop, to going to this, to going to the pastor's wife, you don't need to do all that. Like, I'm sorry, you don't, in my experience. You have a direct connection to source. And so here on earth, you guys, it's an energy game. What you pour your attention to, your attention is valuable like gold. And what you focus on, what you believe to be true, like we're the creators of it all. And so if somebody can capture your mind and heart, they got you. And then throw some fear in there. Now they're manipulating you. They're working you like a puppet. Do this, do that. Go do 10 Hail Marys so you could be forgiven. Oh, go drink Jesus's blood. It's not really his blood, it's the wine, but drink it. And just all. And so the best way to tell a lie is to mix some truth with it. And unfortunately, I feel like that's what cults do. And that's such an extreme term, but it also is extreme because if somebody could really capture your mind like that, they could have you, they can just control you. And we don't need to be controlled. Like, you're here to be a free, sovereign being, to go on your journey and to be free. And so, some practical things too is like, normally obviously they're in groups, right? So like, we were in college and they would like go and love bombing is a huge sign of a cult. Because they'll go and just like, you just met this person like 5 seconds ago and they'll start acting like your best friend. And they'll just be like, oh my God, I love what you're wearing. Like, I love oh, can we sit down? Like, can we hang out? Like, but it's like a tactic that they do it with everyone. It's not that, oh, they liked your shirt. It's that, oh, they're doing this with every single people they meet because they have their leaders or whatever have told them to go recruit people into the cult, but they don't think it's a cult. They're not doing it. Okay, the leaders know what they're doing, but everybody else thinks that they're working for God. So they're like, the leaders are the corrupt ones who have convinced the other people to go do their dirty work, which is to pull souls in, to pull people in, using the illusion of God and love. But really, there's a lot of darkness behind it, you guys, because control, manipulation, you don't need you to be controlled. Like, you are free to create your life. You do not want to give your power away. And if someone is trying to use fear to control you or to scare you, big red flag. So you guys, also, huge sign of a cult, they will isolate you. They will tell you that, well, you can't be around anyone that you used to know because they're all going to hell in a handbasket and you're going to go to hell too if you hang out with them. Once again, they're mixing truth with lies. Okay, it is true that energy is contagious and birds of the feather flock together. And if you're around bad influences, then you can start to take on those traits or whatever. That part's true. But I mean, isn't God love? And so you shouldn't have to go away from everybody forced to. Nobody should. And so I remember moving And they would encourage us. They had like houses all around the colleges and would send you like to another state and pay for it themselves. Like, go spread your mission. And don't Mormons like hop on bikes and they're all spreading the good word? And that's the thing about the intentions. Like, I look at the heart. So I met a lot of cool people because they had hearts for God and they just wanted to serve God in this life, which is beautiful, right? I still know some people to this day who I met at that church, but I think they freed themselves. I'm pretty certain they did. I know I did. And very soon into it, like, I'm a rebellious soul anyway. So I was telling like my boyfriend / ex-boyfriend at the time, like, hey, they're crazy. That's crazy here. Like, we need to break free. And he was just completely brainwashed. And, you know, I wish him well. I don't know how he's doing these days, but I'm not here to judge. I'm here to tell you these are signs of a cult, Christian cult. And so I'm not here to scare you guys. I just want you to be aware and don't twist up my words, because if you find a peaceful connection at a church, if you're at a church that you really love and you feel like you're gaining a lot of things from it, or you feel a deeper connection to source by being at a church, community is beautiful. And that's why the whole concept of cults is so sad, because they're preying on a beautiful thing, which is God. God, source, I very much believe in, exists, of course, you know, consciousness, but it's really about ego taking over the spirit, and they're missing the point of the connection. Like, we have each individually our own, God is within us, what we call God, and your consciousness, right? So just awakening to your power, your beliefs, and what you deem to be true. You're so powerful that that's what's creating your reality, which is why every person believes that their religion is true if they're religious, or whatever their thoughts of life are, even atheists. Like, if that's what they truly believe is true in their heart and soul and spirit, then that is the reality that you're going to create for yourself. Where each individually universe is out here. This is how powerful you are, which is why the entities that know this, okay? The entities that know this or recognize the power of our minds and our intentions and our actions, our behaviors. Like, they want to take over your mind because then they can run you for their agenda. So that's based in greed and corruption and control. No, free yourself. You are the decider and the co-creator of your life, okay? I personally do not believe in hell, okay? But this is something you have to go within to discover. And so my main thing is just, I can't stand deception. I can't stand manipulation. I can't stand force or control and someone trying to tell you how it has to be for you. Like, absolutely not. You're free. And so I remember expressing to these people that I was living with at the time in Long Beach in California, in a really beautiful apartment, and with a bunch of girls who, again, they had hearts for God, took care of each other like a sisterhood thing, but their minds were completely overtaken by their leaders of the leaders of leaders to think that, like, hey, their family, their mother, their everyone they know and everyone in the world, like, they had to save them because they're going to hell. Like, their minds were convinced of that, and I wasn't. And they could tell, like, they could tell that I wasn't fully in, and that bothered them. There was disharmony because I wasn't supposed to be there, but it was very much part of my spiritual journey, because for you to truly know what is meant for you and your path, you have to go through what isn't, so you can make decisions and have deep convictions on who you are. And so I decided, like, hey, this is not for me. I'm free. I don't feel right here. It's not sitting right in my spirit. But I just want to share with you that, like, if you feel resistance, like, once again, be free. There was so much resistance. And again, all they could really use is fear. Like, they couldn't hold me there, but they were doing everything energetically to keep me bound to them so I could work for them. Essentially, it's an energy game. And so it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Just be mindful. You know, I remember like I had got away with one of my cousins on my dad's side, and she wanted to take me to San Diego to go. We were going to some event or something, and we were driving in the car, and one of the leaders was like texting me like nonstop. She's like, "Oh, who's texting you?" I'm like, "Oh, like I called him my pastor." I'm like, "Oh, my pastor." She's like, "What is he saying?" And I was telling her what he was saying. She was like, "Sash, that sounds really weird." And I was like, "Well, he just wants to make sure I'm gonna be okay." She's like, "He's not your dad." And I'm like, and I was like 20 something years old, you know? So I was like, yeah. And so just be cautious, you guys. You're free. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to go through anyone to get to God. You don't have to rescue anyone. God isn't everyone. So they're capable on their own, but to figure out life. And so let them be free and figure it out on their own and make their own decisions. We're sovereign beings. We don't need somebody controlling us. We don't need leaders telling us what to do. You're the leader of your own life. Okay, so you're in control of your own life when you decide to be, and God is love. And so you're always held, you're protected, you're guided, but your voice and what you need to listen to is inside. So tune everything else out to really feel that connection within. It's going to lead you. It'll never lead you astray. And I like to reference religious texts because there's lots of wisdom there, but just be mindful that the difference between spirituality and religion is that religion has men's have tampered with it to control and dictate that narrative of what they want to do. That's why in the Bible slavery was legal, or women were shamed for their period, like, or seen as below as cattle, and countries were wiped out. Like, religion is taken out thousands, if not millions of people through war and genocide and hate. Whereas spirituality allows you to be free and have a direct connection to source and see everything as one. And so that's what I resonate with. If you're on this channel, perhaps you do as well. There's no judgment either way because it's one love. Okay, and so drop me a comment. I know this video is pretty crazy, but just be aware out here. And if you're in anything like this at all, if these signs have resonated with you, make sure you release yourself and don't let them scare you to think that your life is doomed. No, get away. Like, free yourself. I'm sending you so much love, so much power, so much healing on your journey. Wait, I forgot to share with you guys, how did I end up breaking free though? I said deuces and I bounced. Nah, I'm just playing with you. No, I really did though. I got so fed up. And like I said, I was never with it all the way, but it's just like, I was staying for the people and it was the experiences, but after a while, like, they're crazy. Like, I gotta go, you know? So I packed up and I left, but it wasn't about physically leaving that was hard. It was everything else. And wow, crazy story, crazy experience. It was like a year of my life. Yeah, for sure. And they're probably still out there. By the way, too, like, if you were to Google, I'm gonna link the church down below, church that it was. And if you were to Google this person, he's like a known cult leader too, okay? And so, wow, don't get sucked in, don't be fooled, right? Take your power back. All right, you guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.